Well, we did it, everyone. We're here. We're at the final lap, the final moment of award season. The Oscars are in just a few days, and it's time to make our final predictions. It's been a pretty fun year. It's been a pretty weird year, too. It's been a pretty fun, weird year. All right, I'm stalling because I'm nervous. Let's just get into it. Welcome back to Archer Vision, presented by MovieArcher.com and the Movie Archer Podcast Network. My name is Nico, and yes, we're going to go over Oscar predictions today, but before you do that, I got something else I really want you to check out first. Just a few days ago, the Movie Archer Podcast Network team got together to do a show where we basically talked about if we had Oscar ballots. We go through the big 6 categories above the line, and we talk about, okay, if we had a ballot, what would our winners be? Now, yes, I'm biased because I was on the show. Of course I am, right? But it was such a special experience, and I think it's going to play well and lead to a really interesting watch. One, because this incredible group of people who came together, it's a team that I am lucky to be a part of and a team that I'm blessed to be able to call friends of mine. We have Adam Freed, the EIC of MovieArcher.com. We have Andrew from the Revisionist Almanac podcast, and we have Jen and Sarah from the Movies in Us and TV in Us podcast. And the episode has just so much passion and perspective and fun. We all share our picks, a lot of them very personal to us, and we explain why. We kind of back it up. And some of our picks line up with things you've seen during the season or you might see on Sunday, and other ones aren't. They're kind of going against the grain of what people are doing this season, and I think that makes for a really interesting experience because it just helps us all learn about each other in so many ways, and I think it made our team stronger. But I think it's going to be cool for you to watch and be like, hey, I'm relating to these people, or that person's taste aligns with mine, or that would be a really cool win. So I cannot recommend it enough. Please go check that out. So now it's time to do the predictions. All right, let's start big. Best picture. There's one of two things you're doing here. You're doing one battle after another, or you're doing Sinners. It's as simple as that. Both of which would be great winners. Both of which are great films. One Battle is your clear frontrunner. It would be easy to go with One Battle. It's won everything under the sun pretty much, except for SAG Ensemble. It's got Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, BAFTA Best Film, PGA, DGA. It's won a ton of critics groups. It's won a ton of guild and industry awards. Its winning package is unbeatable. It's undefeated. It would actually be a historic Best Picture loss. Sinners has a really interesting package too that really bodes well for it. It has SAG Ensemble, it has the Ace Eddie Award, and it has WGA. Now I know One Battle has that too. One Battle has adapted screenplay for WGA. But what Sinners has is momentum. So here's what you could take into account. SAG happens and Sinners won the night. It was the night of Sinners. We had the performance. Michael B. Jordan wins, and you saw that room. The room was absolutely electric. There was explosions. And then Sinners wins Ensemble, and it felt like the room really wanted that. Well, Oscar voting this year was happening the week after SAG. There was a new system this year, apparently, where a lot of voters had to log and prove they were finishing all the films, and a lot of them waited till the end of the week to vote. So you could argue SAG might have had a really big impact on voting, and with the way Sinners was so embraced, this late momentum kind of makes me feel like, can this be a Moonlight? Can this be a Parasite? And when it comes to award season, I'm a big proponent of momentum and passion over statistics. Now, Sinners would have needed maybe a little more to make me feel better. It didn't get DGA. That was still PTA. That's going to happen. It didn't get PGA. I thought that could happen, right? It really just has that last moment at SAG, but was that enough? I'm a boy who rides momentum. I am. So while I think One Battle might be a slightly smarter and more safe prediction, when I do Oscar predictions, I like to do some that are bold. I like to go no guts, no glory. And I just think right now the 16 nominations, these particular Academy voters have Sinners in their mind, and SAG gave them the excuse to go ahead and go for it. So for Best Picture, we're going Sinners. We don't have to spend too much time on director. It's going to be Paul Thomas Anderson. He won DGA. One Battle is the Best Picture favorite. When award season decides that it's time to give an acclaimed, loved director the Oscar, it happens. We just saw it with Nolan. We just saw it with Sean Baker, and this time it's Paul Thomas Anderson. He might be the most overdue artist in the Academy's eyes right now, and this is gonna happen. If Coogler won DGA, I could see that. You could say Coogler still has a 1 or 2% chance. That would be crazy if that happened. A lot of people would love that. But this is Paul Thomas Anderson's award. It's well deserved. I'm very happy he's gonna have an Oscar, and while I think he should have got it before for a film like The Master, I'm glad he's going to get it here. So in director, you're going Paul Thomas Anderson. There's no other way to go here. Same thing in Best Actress. We have Jessie Buckley here. She's your winner. She's the only actor to sweep this season, and the brooms are going to be out on Sunday. And that's amazing. It's well deserved. I'm happy she's going to win. If you want me, for the sake of this video, to talk about what else could happen, Rose Byrne has the Globe comedy or musical win. So she's the only other person with like a legitimate televised win. You could say she's number 2, but her movie's not in Best Picture, nor is it winning awards anywhere else. So I would have to go to like a Renata Reinsva for number 2, which would be an awesome win, but it's not going to happen because of how many nominations Sentimental Value got, and it may win in some places here like International Feature. It's probably the number 2 in Original Screenplay. And Emma Stone, Begonia, it will not be Kate Hudson, but no, it's Jessie Buckley here. We could sew this thing up pretty easily. Here's where the train stops for a little bit. We got to hang out here, spend some time here. We're going to hang out at Best Actor Station for a while, if you will. I'll be fully honest with you. This is one of 2 categories. This and Best Supporting Actress are the only 2 where I don't know what I'm doing as I'm recording this video right now. So you're going to see live decision making happening here on air with you all. So what are our scenarios here? Well, Timothée Chalamet was the favorite. I would say still is. He has the Golden Globe win. He has the Critics' Choice win. He has a good amount of critics groups wins as well. But he did not win BAFTA. Asterisk, because Robert Aramayo is not nominated at the Oscars, right? Marty Supreme also didn't win anything at BAFTA. So you could argue they didn't like it and they weren't going to give it to him anyway. And then Michael B. Jordan wins SAG. However, another sort of question mark is Timmy won SAG last year. You could see in the voters' minds they weren't going to give him back-to-back wins at age 30 because that hasn't been done before. I know it hasn't been around that long, but it hasn't been done before. And giving it to Michael B. Jordan was more of a SAG thing. Let's reward him for his career and this massive moment in Sinners and have it feel like this amazing thing. And it was. You saw how that room was. If I go by my mindset in Best Picture when I picked Sinners and talked about the momentum and how the Oscar voting was still open, you would go Michael B. Jordan here. I think he's your number 2 or 1B, if you will. That SAG win was huge. The moment felt so big that I could see voters last week being like, we got to do this. We got to do this. This feels like a good thing to do. And it's sort of like coattailing the Sinners love. So if I'm picking Sinners in Best Picture, how do I not bring Michael B. Jordan along with it? I feel like it's something that we have to do. Third option is our Timmy and MBJ gonna vote split, and someone like Wagner Moore is gonna win. He has the Golden Globe drama win. There's a lot of love for Brazil in the Academy and with the international voting body. And The Secret Agent got into Best Picture, and it's, I think, a coin toss for winning international feature. So can he sneak in and win? I think it's possible. I think if you wanted to do like an insane no guts, no glory prediction, a really bold one, go him. I'm not going to be doing that. And then I know some people have Ethan Hawke. I think he would have needed a win somewhere. It would be a really wild win if he does. And Leo, I know the one battle thing, but Leo hasn't won or taken anything either. I think Leo is like the 5 here, maybe the 4, but I think he's the 5. What are we doing? What should we do? What should we do? You know, if it were up to me, I really want Timothée Chalamet to win. I'm a big Timothée Chalamet fan. I think this would be an amazing Oscar win because I think he is bigger than Marty Supreme. The character and the performance is bigger than the movie, and I think with a performance that big, that kind of screams Best Actor. I also would love if Wagner Moura won. He rivals Timmy as my favorite male performance of the year. I think that would be awesome. And I would love if Michael B. Jordan won because that would be a really cool win for him. It would be a cool moment for Sinners, and it would be a nice, like, we're giving you Best Actor for this role, but we're also giving it to you for this film and for what you've done as a whole and for what you've given pop culture and the film industry this year. So I would love that. Oh man, I don't know. Even though it's a performance I don't think normally wins, I think I have to predict Michael B. Jordan. I have to ride with the momentum. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be happy because Chalamet or someone else is going to win. And if Michael B. Jordan wins, I'll be happy. I'll say, hey, I predicted that. I'll be a little sad for Timmy, but I could be very happy for Michael B. Multiple things can be true at once. So I think riding the momentum, I think the power in that room at SAG, I'm gonna go with Michael B. Jordan. I think I could change my mind, but for now, let's say Michael B. just because of the Sinners thing. But you know, It's tough because I think if I end up just going with the SAG 4, I don't know if that's like we're gonna find out how relevant SAG was this year because it was last and it was during voting. So what this year could tell us is that whatever happens during voting is the big indicator, because usually you're supposed to go with BAFTA as like the best indicator of what's happening in some of these categories, but it happened before SAG, and of course Best Actor went a different way. So I'm going to say Michael B. Jordan for now, but there may be a clip where I pop in here and say I switched to Timmy. I don't know. Supporting Actress is just as crazy. Amy Madigan wins the SAG. She also has Critics' Choice. Those are two really big wins. Wunmi Mosaku has BAFTA and Teyana Taylor has Globe. It's chaos. It's pretty wild. So because of Sinners and Best Picture, and I picked Michael B. Jordan, I want to pick Mosaku. So that means Sinners gets 2 acting wins. That goes really well with a nice Best Picture package. The BAFTA correlation for acting awards is so strong. She won. Now at SAG, you could argue the Amy Madigan move was such a SAG thing. There's the history, there's the career. People really like Amy Madigan. They're also not afraid to reward genre films. They've done now Amy Madigan in Weapons, Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place, Lupita Nyong'o in Us, and they gave it to Michael B. Jordan too. So I know they didn't go for Wunmi, which was a little surprising, but Madigan makes sense. And when these voters vote, for them, was Taylor too small of a performance, and was Mosaku too subtle of a performance, and the big showy villain witch performance from Amy Madigan really got him going. I don't know. I want to say it's going to come down to international support. And in that case, I think Mosaku has that because Madigan wasn't even nominated at BAFTA. So how do I not do that? But then I don't know how much international support that Michael B. Jordan has. So how do I like justify Michael B. Jordan because of SAG and not do Amy Madigan here? SAG could have done it. SAG could have done Mosaku, but they didn't. So that makes me think maybe Madigan can make up some international votes because of SAG, and then everyone in sort of the like in the American compartments, we're going to vote for her anyway. I think, you know what? I think I'm going to be boring and just go with the SAG 4. I think I'm going to go with Amy Madigan. It's not a traditional year. Rules are gone. I'm going off vibes. And the Amy Madigan thing has been that's a performance that's been celebrated this entire year. The campaign's been strong. She's likable. She's lovable. Both speeches have been exceptional. And I think this is the Academy going, you know what? Let's do this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this will be the proof that a performance like this will not win the Oscar. Hey everyone. So yeah, I'm sticking with Madigan. I'm more confident in it now. Whatever happens, we'll see. But I thought about it. I looked at some more stats. The SAG has lined up with supporting actress in 14 of the last 15 years, and many of them in a row. And also the times where Madigan has went up against Wunmi Mosaku, she's won. And the only time Wunmi beat her is she wasn't at BAFTA, and then Madigan lost to Taylor at the Golden Globes. That was a long time ago. So I think you got to ride the momentum for Madigan right now. I think that's the way to go. If we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll see. And supporting actor Sean Penn. That's it. I mean, it's kind of anticlimactic coming off those two categories, but he has SAG and BAFTA. That combination is lethal. It's deadly. It's pretty solidified. One battle is, if Sinners doesn't win, it's the Best Picture favorite. There's going to be a one battle acting win here, and it's going to be Sean Penn, at least. Might be him and Taylor, but it's Sean Penn. And in original screenplay, it's going to be Sinners. It's going to be Ryan Coogler. This is the Oscar he's going to win. He's going to get up there. He's going to give a speech. It's going to be amazing. And the originality of Sinners is going to come through here. There's really no other option here. Just one WGA, so that's pretty much like a lock, signed, sealed, delivered for Sinners. What else could hypothetically win? I would say Sentimental Value. It's a very righty movie. Joachim Trier also got the director nomination. It's the favorite to win international. So if there's anything you want to like predict as a spoiler that won't happen, it'll be Sentimental Value, and I think that's it. But no, this award is going to go to Ryan Coogler and Sinners. This is your winner for Best Original Screenplay. And then Adapted Screenplay is one battle, PTA, that's going to happen. That's another Oscar he's going to win. It's going to be the first of a couple. This has won everything. There is nothing that's going to even stand in this way. You could try to say maybe something like a Hamnet can sneak in. As much as I would love that, no, this is one battle after another. This is PTA winning Adapted Screenplay. Now, casting. This is the first year we have casting, so there's no precedent here. this is going to be whatever wins here will set the tone going forward as we try to predict this in years to come. It's pretty exciting. I think it's going to be Sinners. And I think it's going to be Sinners because I think this is going to be the Academy's version of like a SAG ensemble win. Yes, they're awarding the casting director, but coming off SAG, where SAG is awarding the ensemble and the performances, the collection of actors together, I think this will be a companion piece award where, I mean, assuming the films are both nominated, is the award to now let's give it to the casting director who picked those actors and put those people together and orchestrated that. And I think this is another moment during the ceremony where voters were going through and were thinking about, okay, what's something else? What's another way that we could celebrate Sinners? And the achievement it had is let's award the casting director and therefore this ensemble. I'm sort of using like the best picture favorite in mind again. So my other option would be One Battle because of all the same reasons. Look at this ensemble. There were, multiple actors nominated. There's some who might win. Look at the way they put all these people together who have been so memorable. And that could be your other one. Now, we'll see what they do though, because in my opinion, what this award should be is the most impressive casting, where I would give it to something like The Secret Agent because of the large cast, the people they found, some actors, some first time people, and trying to put all those people together and make it work. Or Marty Supreme, who grabbed a Kevin O'Leary, who has Fran Drescher, who brought Tyler, the Creator, in and led to these really memorable performances. So is that going to be the thing too? I mean, Hamnet, there's child actors here. That's impressive too. So I would say that's kind of what the award should be for. But because it's the first year, I could see this going to Sinners. So I'm going to predict Sinners, but we'll see if something else happens. If something else happens, it would be amazing, but it would be amazing for Sinners too. So Sinners is going to take the first ever Oscar for Best Casting. In editing, once again, a battle between One Battle and Sinners. That's a lot of these categories, but I think One Battle is your best bet here. It also won Ace. That movie is long, but it flies by, and that's a credit to the editing. Now, in some years, you see the editing winner correlate with Best Picture, and in this case, I'm picking Sinners. So why would I not pick Sinners for editing? It's just One Battle has too many precursors. It's too strong. It's too strong. So if Sinners spoils here, that would be amazing, and that would actually be like the golden ticket and the golden indicator of its winning Best Picture later in the night. But I think there's going to be a lot of splitting between these two movies in these technical categories, and I think you're going to go one battle after another here. I think that's your winner. If you put Sinners, though, I wouldn't say you're wrong. I mean, hell, I'm tempted to do it too, but I think what I'm trying to do with this ceremony is I don't think it's going to be a clean domination by One Battle. I mean, if that happens, as much as I like One Battle, that would be boring. If we're sitting here and going a one picture, one director, one adapted, and one editing, and one, like, I would be like, all right, maybe when it's two acting, I would be like, all right, okay, it's going to win anything. It's like Oppenheimer, right? Sinners is compelling once again because I'm picking it for Best Picture, but I just think right now I would just stick with One Battle because at least if I get one of these right/wrong, I would rather split than go like 0 for 2, and I would rather split than try to go 2 for 2 with an option that I'm not really looking for, because I would rather see Sinners win Best Picture. So we're gonna keep One Battle in editing. Cinematography is interesting because Sinners won so many critics groups. It pretty much swept, and it looked like it was going to be the winner. It really did. And then the guilds happened and the industry awards happened, and One Battle wins everything, including the recent ASC. So I think the edge is One Battle here. I know they can make history and, give Sinners the first win for female cinematographer in the category, and that would be cool. That would be really, really cool, and that would be a bold prediction. I would respect the hell out of you for doing it, and it would be like a really big surprise on Oscar night that, would only happen here. It hasn't happened at any of the other guilds or industry events going forward, but the One Battle package is too strong. As much as I think Sinners has momentum, I don't think it has this momentum to all of a sudden win everything or take all these other categories. I don't. I think it's strong enough to get a box checked for Best Picture and on a preferential ballot to be consistently in people's like top 2 or top 3. I do. I think that's more possible than these. I think when it comes to some of these technical things where like the industry is already showing you, I think it's One Battle. I know there was a moment where some people thought Train Dreams, and that would be really cool, and a lot of people want that to happen. But in this one, I think The precursors are too strong. The win package is too strong. We're going to go with one battle after another in best cinematography. I want to like sprint through these next three categories, but they're all going to be Frankenstein. So first is costume design. Frankenstein's won everything. It hasn't slowed down anywhere. I don't think the road for that ends here. I think costumes, it just keeps winning. You can make an argument for Sinners, one battle, something you can. And hey, maybe that will happen. But I would just rather stick with Frankenstein, who feels like the best winner, the most likely winner. And I would rather be wrong and like going crazy, ripping my hair out in beautiful chaos on Oscar night if something else happens. But you got to stick with Frankenstein in your predictions here. Frankenstein for best costume design. The same sentiment for production design here. It's going to be Frankenstein. I think that's what you pick. If you wanted to pick a spoiler, you can. But those sets, they built that ship. They're so pristine. It does feel like a fairy tale. It did. All those sets and locations feel like something out of legend, right? And I think this is another place where you reward that. You reward these more out there items in these categories. So Frankenstein is your winner for best production design. And last but not least, makeup and hair is going to go to Frankenstein too. Now, there's been a correlation between this award and actors in the past. So some might say, oh, well, Jacob Elordi, no, that would have started happening places. So we're going to have a makeup winner that doesn't correlate with an acting category here, and it's Frankenstein again for the Elordi transformation alone. So think this is like a kind of a win for Elordi because he's the person in the amazing makeup and prosthetics that they did. But this is Frankenstein's award. Once again, you could some cool nominees in this category like Cuoco and the Ugly Stepsister, but no, it's gonna be Frankenstein. Sound is interesting because F1's the favorite, and F1 has been winning a lot. It's been winning a lot, and they love their racing movies. They love to go vroom. So I would say you're safe to predict F1, and perhaps this is the year we learn they don't love racing movies right until the end. They'll pick something else that's better. My number 2 would actually be Sinners. I think because of the musical scenes and everything like that, this could be your spoiler, and part of me really wants to do it. But I just think when it comes to the Academy and the team that like Joseph Kosinski put together, for Top Gun and then this, I do think they're going to go with F1 still. I think One Battle is like the 3. I think it has a chance. Now, if it wins this too, it's going to be like, wow, it's a One Battle Palooza. It's not even close. But they didn't go for Oppenheimer for sound. They did the Zone of Interest, something where the sound was like a big selling point and a big part of the film. And I would argue sound is a bigger part of Sinners in F1, but it's the biggest part of F1. So when it comes to the craft categories, when it comes to the sound category, we see they really vote for what they think is the best usage of it, the best demonstration of sound in film. And I think given the win package, you should stick with One Battle, but I won't lie to you. The temptation to switch to Sinners is there. We'll see if I switch before Sunday. But I think you just have to stick with the Academy's love of vroom, vroom, vroom for right now. F1 and best sound. Score is going to be Sinners. It's right here. This beautiful score by Ludwig Göransson. It's crazy. It's going to be his... When was Black Panther? That was 2018, so that Oscar ceremony was maybe 2019. Anyway, it's going to be like 3 wins in 6 years. Black Panther, Oppenheimer, now this. 3 very deserving wins. Twice with Coogler, once with Nolan. But yeah, he's won everything, every precursor. It's led up to this moment. I don't think they're going to change to anything else right now. Ludwig Göransson, one of the most legendary film composers ever with this run he's on. And he's not done. He's going to be doing the Odyssey next year, I think. And I'm sure he's got so much more on the way. So you're probably going to see him at least nominated next year and potentially in win conversation again. Who knows at this point? Johnny Greenwood, maybe. The first time I saw One Battle, I thought this could be the kind of spoiler and take it because it's a little bit more what the Academy likes. But no, Sinners, Ludwig. There you go. Congrats on Oscar number 3 in about 8 years, sir. That's damn impressive. Now, international feature is interesting. So all signs would point to Sentimental Value. It tied with the 3rd most nominations at 9. 4 actors got in, Trier's and director. So it feels like this is the pick. It's also the movie that has like the most English scenes. So I think it was more accessible to voters, and a lot of people voted for it. And I think that's why this year it's stood out in the international category so much. It's my favorite film in this category, and I'm a big sentimental value boy. It's my number 3 movie this year overall in my top 10. So I think it would be a great win. Now, The Secret Agent is right there. The Secret Agent also got into picture, and Wagner Moore is an actor. So The Secret Agent is very clearly number 2. And like I said earlier, Brazil has a strong presence in the Academy. We saw what happened with them getting I'm Still Here in a picture, and then I'm Still Here winning over Emilia Perez last year. Some would say the controversy got to Emilia Perez, but we just have to operate on the fact that a win's a win, and that must mean enough people voted for it. So is there a world where The Secret Agent wins? Yes, I think it's actually very, very possible. I might even argue it's like a 51% sentimental value, 49% The Secret Agent. So you could predict The Secret Agent, and even if it lost, I wouldn't call you crazy. I would have said you're right there. You're kind of on the money. But in this case, we're going to go with sentimental value. I wanted Justin's for It Was Just an Accident. I really thought that was going to be a bigger player, especially when I first saw it. I thought it could win this category, and Panahi even show up in director. Surat's cool. It's just not the type of movie that they're going to let win, even though the sound nomination is awesome. And the voice of Henry Rajab is cool. That would be a statement. But I really think it's sentimental value and Secret Agent, and we're going to stick with sentimental value for right now. 1, because I love the film, and 2, because I just think it's going to happen. But hey, we'll look out for The Secret Agent. In animated, we're going K-pop Demon Hunters. I think that's the most obvious one. It's won everything. It's been winning. It did well at the Annies. It wasn't nominated at BAFTA, but they only have like 3 nominees, and they didn't care for it anyway. But my rationale for this is like, I don't think there's another animated movie here where voters would have went for something else. I think they've all seen K-pop Demon Hunters. In fact, if they have kids or extended family throughout the holiday season, I bet K-pop Demon Hunters was in their ears. They can't escape it. So I could see them just voting for it because it's A, the only thing they've seen, or B, they were just like, fine, let's do it. Let's just do this. Let's give it the award, and then it'll be over. Maybe Arco, maybe Little Amelie, Zootopia 2. I don't know, but I think this is going to win international feature. They're also animated feature. They're also performing. The only people performing are I Lied to You from Sinners and Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. So I know where I'm going with this is like they're putting them out there to sing a song, and we're talking about the song category next, but like, how could you not? Like, I just think it's like the animated film of the year. It's one of the biggest movies of the year. I mean, Criterion. It's coming to the Criterion collection. So I think the impact of it is undeniable, and I think it's undeniable for voters too. So Huntrix, it's done. And that goes to Golden as well. EJ, I think her story is incredible. I think the wins and the speeches have proven that. I think they're going to ride this all the way. I mean, it got a Grammy nomination for Song of the Year. I mean, let's just be honest here. So I think, once again, when it comes to voting, it's a song that transcended the film. It became a cultural movement. It's played everywhere. It's one of the biggest songs of this year, and probably going to go down as one of the biggest songs in recent memory of all time. That's not hyperbole. That song is so big. Children, everyone has just loved this song. So I could see voters being like, yes, that's the moment. So I'm going to predict Golden, but Miles Caton's SAG performance was really special. That room was electric. Oscar voting was still open. I Lied to You and Golden are the only songs performing. It does feel like they're setting you up for this crazy head-to-head thing. And when I think about this Oscars, am I really thinking though, are they really going to give it to K-pop and not the song and Sinners? Are the Academy voters going to do that too? Or are they going to be the only ones who go, no, I Lied to You is like more serious, and it was a bigger moment in the movie for the movie. I mean, Golden was too. I shouldn't say that. But you know where I'm going with this. Did voters switch to I Lied to You? I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's a crazy thing to suggest. I don't want to talk myself into this though, because I'm close to just doing something this bold, but I love Golden. I love what this song has done for me and so many people in my life. I love I Lied to You too. It's the scene of the year. I mean, it's incredible, and it would be an awesome win. I would if Golden lost and I Lied to You won, I wouldn't really be mad. I would be like, damn, but wow, I get it, and what a cool moment. And I don't know if like so many voters just thought what I just thought and did it. So listen, we're going to say think about it just for the sake of consistency and safety and prediction. We're going to stick with Golden. Golden, K-pop Demon Hunters. you win an Oscar here and getting them all on stage is going to be really, really fun, in my opinion. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to get to all the docs and shorts to be able to pick these. So just see what Gold Derby and the Award Expert app are. Those are what I'll be doing. But one more thing. On 2 of the shows I talked about earlier, the Revisionist Almanac with Andrew and Movies and Us with Jen and Sarah, they have interviews with every nominee in the live action short Oscar category. There are interviews with all those filmmakers. They are incredible. The spaces they create, the passions there, the questions are so amazing. They're incredible conversations. So if you want more insight into those categories and some fun interviews, we have those over at moviearcher.com in the Movie Archer Podcast Network section under Archer Vision. That's all she wrote, people. Award season has come to an end. So leave in the comments your thoughts on my predictions. Give me your predictions. I'm going to have 2 reaction videos. So next Monday, you're going to see a video drop of me reacting to these, giving you the recap like I have been. But then Monday night, a show that's going to drop on Tuesday, that Movie Archer Podcast Network team I talked about who did the show of If We Had a Ballad, we're going to be all breaking down the Oscars together, and that show should be up later that week. So you're going to have 2 things for me, one on my feed and then one in the Movies and Us feed as well. Stay golden, everyone. Have fun at the Oscars. I'll see you next week.